La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la, la la. Bella, aspetta che me lo scrivo. Ciao e benvenuti a LIS Learn Italian Songs, Learn Italian with Songs. Io sono Pietro and in this channel we listen to Italian songs and we translate the lyrics word by word while revealing some grammar features and talking about the Italian culture here and there. And today we will talk about Va Pensiero, a famous opera aria by Giuseppe Verdi. Now, in the first season I avoided opera arias on purpose, because they are undoubtedly famous, but their language is usually outdated and too literary. But in this second season, we will examine not one, but 3 songs from the mid-19th century. They are widely famous Italian songs, and one is from the opera Nabucco by Giuseppe Verdi. And the others, well, subscribe and you will find out as soon as they are uploaded. These songs are very famous, so maybe some of you will already be a bit familiar with the lyrics, but even if you're not familiar with them, don't worry. I will walk you through the complete translation and give you simple explanations, so that by the end of the video you will know more about these songs than the average Italian. So what are we waiting for? Let's get right into it. The song we're going to examine today is Va Pensiero by Giuseppe Verdi. It is from the opera Nabucco, which was composed in 1842. The words were written by poet Solera, and as we will see, they are less complicated than one can imagine. Now, the opera itself has a very complicated plot, which involves a siege of Jerusalem, prophets here and there, a slave who becomes a princess and eventually poisons herself, stories of love and power, kings who claim to be gods only to be reminded that they're not by bolts of lightning thrown by actual gods, and much more. So I will not get into details, but I have to give you just some basic information to put the song in context. This melody is sung by the Jews who are held prisoners in Babylon. The time is around the 6th century before Christ, and in this aria, sung by the banks of the Euphrates River, they sing about the beauty of their own land and the sadness that comes from being away from it. The period in which this song was written is the Italian Risorgimento, or the period that led to the creation of Italy, more or less as we know it today. Therefore, this is a song that was often seen as a rebel or a revolutionary song in disguise against the dominion of the Austrian Empire over part of the Italian territory. In more recent times, this song was shortlisted, so to say, as a substitute for the Italian national anthem, but it didn't get the title. So on to the song, Va Pensiero. Va pensiero sull'ali dorate, va di posa sui clivi e sui colli, dove olezzano tepide e molli, laure dolci del suolo natal, del Giordano le rive saluta, di Sionne le torri atterrate. O mia patria, sì bella e perduta, o membranza sì cara e fatal. Arpa d'or dei fatidici vati, perché muta dal salice pendi, le memorie nel petto riaccendi, ci fa bella del tempo che fu. O simile di Sollima ai fati, tracci un suono di crudo lamento, o ti ispiri il Signore un concento che ne infonda al partire virtù, che ne infonda al partire virtù, che ne infonda al partire virtù. Okay, on to the translation now, and I must confess that this is the second time that I've recorded the explanation section for this song. The first time, as you can see from the nasty pencil signs here, the first time I was trying to explain every single word and every single grammar feature, and the explanations got messy and confused very quickly. So I have decided to make a change of plan. And here we have a new kind of explanation, but you won't see my badly handwritten piece of paper here, but something that I've printed out with the computer. So let's see. Okay, so this translation has some parts which required in-depth explanation, therefore I printed out a couple of sheets of paper to make everything clearer with a bit of fancy colors and lettering. The color code is as follows. The original words of the song will be in blue. When the language of the song is too different from today's standard Italian, or simply too hard to understand, or the word order is weird, so to say, there will be a paraphrase in purple, or whatever you want to call this color here, and in black you will find the translation in English. So let's start. Okay, so let's start with the title. You remember from the previous page I wrote va without the apostrophe, while here there is the apostrophe. I prefer this version here with the apostrophe because originally it would be vai, which is an imperative. Come on, go, thought. But as the letter I goes away, the letter A cries, and this apostrophe is its teardrop because she's crying. So va pensiero. Now, a bit of explanation before we start translating. The first lines are the thought lines. This is where the thought is required to do the actions of going, flying, of perching or landing, and of greeting. Let's see. Va pensiero sull'ali dorate. Now, go, va, thought, sul is on the, golden is dorate, and ali is wings. So go thought on golden wings. Va ti posa su clivi sui colli. Actually, if we tweak this sentence with the word order, it should sound something like va and posati su clivi e sui colli. And this means go and perch or land yourself on slopes or cliffs. See that this word resembles the English word cliffs, okay, but slopes and on hills. Ove olezzano tepide e molli, and here I grouped two lines together, laure dolci del suolo natal. Now, why did I group these two lines together? Because we have to put this one first. So ove is an older version or a more poetic version of dove, where dove laure dolci del suolo natal olezzano tepide molli. This means where the sweet airs, actually this would be plural, of del native land. Notice that suolo, which means land, reminds us of the word soil. Olezzano, it means they smell mildly and softly, okay? Olezzare is not a verb that is used a lot in standard Italian, and usually it has the nuance of a bad smell, but not in this case. Let's continue. Del Giordano le rive saluta, di Sionne le torri atterrate. And I grouped these two lines together, and I played a bit with the word order. Saluta le rive del Giordano e le torri atterrate di Sionne, which means greet the banks of the Jordan, the river Jordan, and also greet the towers. How are these towers? They are torn down of Zion, the torn down towers of Zion. Now I have seen this saluta translated as say goodbye to the banks of the Jordan and the torn down towers of Zion, but I think that it makes more sense say hi, like greet the banks of the Jordan and the torn down towers of Zion. And then it continues, O mia patria, si bella e perduta. This is almost standard Italian, apart from this si, which is short for così. O my homeland, patria, the land of the fathers, so beautiful and lost. O membranza si care fatal. Membranza is not a word that is used a lot in standard Italian, but it still is used, and it reminds us of the verb remembrance. O memory, so dear and fatal. Okay. And then, after this first chunk of the song, then comes the golden harp lines. In these lines, the choir asks the harp why it is silent and wish it could light memories up again, tell stories of bygone days, and produce raw sounds to inspire virtue-infusing harmonies. So it continues with Arpa d'or dei fatidici vati, which in standard Italian would be something like Arpa d'oro dei profeti. Vate could mean a prophet or a poet, dei profeti fatali or veggenti. So golden, d'oro is golden, arpa is harp, of the prophets or poets, profeti, faithful, of the faithful or clairvoyant prophets. So, golden harp, perché muta dal salice pendi? And this is standard Italian, apart from the word order. Why, dumb, speechless, from the willow are you hanging? Salice is willow and pendi is to hang. So, golden harp, why are you hanging and not making a sound? Why are you hanging from the willow and not making sound? Le memorie nel petto riaccendi. Now, if we just move one word and we add a letter I, riaccendi le memorie nel petto. This is standard Italian. And it means light up again. Ri means do something again. Riaccendi, light up again the memories in the or in our chest. Okay, this is wrong. Ci favella del tempo che fu, and we are talking about the harp also in this line. I played with the word order and it becomes favellaci, which also means raccontaci del tempo che fu, and in English it means tell us about the time, il tempo, that was. So the days of yore, the bygone days. Tell us, O golden harp, tell us about the time that was, those bygone days. And then one of the hardest lines of the song, O simile di solima ai fati, which in standard Italian would be more something like O simile ai fati di solima. Okay, now for metric reasons, the accent in this word had to go here, simile, but it should be simile. And it means or similar or like, not to, similar to the fates of Jerusalem. Oh yes, this too was right. So similar to the fates of Jerusalem, so similar to what happened to Jerusalem. Solima is an ancient way to call Jerusalem. Traggi un suono di crudo lamento. So, or in a similar way, what should you do, golden harp? You should draw out, traggi, trarre, what? A sound of crude lament, like a harsh or a raw sound. And what should this sound do? We will see later. O ti ispiri il Signore un concento, which in standard Italian or paraphrase should be something like, or possa il Signore ispirarti un concento, or may the Lord, possa il Signore, inspire you a harmony. And what should we do with this harmony? Che ne infonda al patire virtù, and this is che ne infonda virtù or coraggio al patire. Now, why did I write this all in capital letters? Because I got it wrong while I was singing the song, and not just once but 3 times. It's not al partire, which would mean the leaving, going away, but it's al patire. Patire means to suffer. Okay, so what should the golden harp do with this crude lament or this harmony? It should infuse virtue, give virtue or courage during our suffering. And this is the end of it. Now, if you have any doubts, because this explanation was not detailed enough, don't hesitate to ask me in the comments below, and I will try to answer to each and every one of you. Well done! You have watched the video till the end. Complimenti! And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe and share, and don't forget to check the description below because there are some useful links for all you learners of Italian. Ciao ciao!